Hello, class. I had a question from the homework. I think it was number 13 from the 2.2 StatLab assignment. Specifically, there was a question with part C of this assignment. So let's just take a look at the beginning parts here. The amount of time adults spend watching TV is closely monitored by firms because this helps determine advertising pricing. And then we're given a few questions to answer. Let's see. Weekly time spent watching television is likely skewed right, not normally distributed. Okay, so before we answer part C, it's important to do part B. Okay, so they tell us that the mean time spent watching TV is 2.35 hours on a weekday. And then it says assume that the standard deviation is 1.93 hours. We have a random sample of 60 adults, so my n equals 60. And then it says describe the sampling distribution x bar, the mean amount of time spent watching television on a weekday. So x bar is approximately normal, and we can say that because our sample size is greater than or equal to 30. So that means that our mean is going to equal our sample mean. So we have 2.35, so you see we can enter 2.35. But the standard deviation will change, right? Remember, we have to divide this standard deviation of 1.93 by the square root of n. So we have, let's move this around, 1.93 divided by the square root of n, and n was 60 adults. I press enter. And this is what we're going to use for our standard deviation or the standard error, 0.249. So now I'm going to let StatCrunch handle much of the heavy lifting, right? So again, I'm going to enter the 0.2496162 here. It does say go 6 decimal places, so I'd have to enter all of those values. And when I get to part C, when I open up my StatCrunch, I can enter my values here. So again, I have to review. The mean was, looks like it was 2.35. So I will enter 2.35 in for my mean. And then my standard deviation, I was tempted to enter standard deviation of 1.93, but remember I had to divide that by the square root of n, or the square root of 60, to get this 0.24916. So I'm going to enter that as my standard deviation, 0.249, I think it was 0.24916. That looks good enough for me. And then it says determine the probability that the random sample of 60 adults results in a mean time. So the mean now, instead of being 2.35, we want to know the probability that the mean is between 2 and 3. So in StatCrunch, normally this does my standard, this is my standard calculator, but I want to find the value between 2 points. So I select between up here on my normal calculator, and then I'm going to put my values in here, 2 and 3, and then I press compute, and there's my probability. Okay, 0.9154. So I take a look at the homework, 0.9153. So it looks like I'm off a little bit, but the computer is set to accept plus or minus, 1,000th. So we should be okay there. So again, I just want to review the steps to bring up that normal calculator, right? I have it here, but pretend you didn't see this. Just remember, you'd have to press Stat, Calculators, Normal, and for part C, we had to go between two values, and then I entered, I think it was between 2 and 3, right? And the mean that we had here was 2.35, right? We were given that, and oops, I put 2.35 in the wrong spot. There it goes. And then the standard deviation was that standard deviation that we were given divided by the square root of n, in this case, the square root of 60. And that gave us this new standard deviation or new standard error of 0.24916. and then when we press compute, that was our answer. Okay, so I hope that helps with number 13. Thanks for watching.